Hey guys, what's up? So I've been putting off buying a new bike for a long time, and I haven't bought a new bike, and I don't really want to buy a new bike because I don't like the direction that the bikes have gone in. I don't really want disc brakes. What I'd really like to find is another one of these, like a brand new one, that's never been ridden. I don't really want internal cables. I think that a lot of things about like the integration, like I don't know why in the world I want a stem and handlebar that's connected together, one piece carbon. That just makes no sense to me why I would want to spend the extra money for that. I'm perfectly happy with what I have. This bike is now I've probably put 10,000 miles on it, or probably more than 10,000 miles on it, and I bought it used. And so, like, I'm a little, like, I don't know how many years it's got left in it. I'm pretty sure I can get this season out of it, though. But my wheels were worn out. Kinlan XR31 rims and some Novatec hubs and some CX-Ray, Sapum CX-Ray spokes. So really nice wheels. They were right around 1,600 grams because I went with 32 in the back because of my, portly size. It seemed like carbon would be the way to go. And even though, I'm rocking the rim brake. People have been riding carbon wheels for a while on rim brakes, and they seem to be a lot better than they used to be. So I went with some ICANN FL50s, and I got these really cheap on Amazon. When I say really cheap, I mean relatively cheap with 50s, and I thought the 80s would be a little too extreme maybe for some of the winds I might ride in. So I went with the 50s. I got these out of the box. And first thing I noticed was the back one was not straight, like not even close to straight. I almost just sent them back right there. So then the second thing I noticed is when I put them on and I started riding, I could hear a little bit of squeakage from the back wheel. There is not a lot of room. There was not a lot of room. It's the actual width of the fat part of the rim here. The rim actually gets somewhat bigger right here, and then it kind of rolls back in and gets small again. And these chainstays, they actually get thicker right through here. Now this is a SL2 tarmac, SL2 tarmac from I think 2009 or something, or 10, I'm not sure, it's pretty old. Probably couldn't fit a much larger tire there. It's gonna get really tight. And then look right there. Probably couldn't fit a larger tire. So while you can probably fit a 28 on the front, you're definitely not going to probably fit, I don't think you're going to fit a 28 on the back. And so, I'm kind of limited to 25s, which honestly, I don't care. 25s are fine. But the problem is these tight chainstays were rubbing the wheel. So what I did, I decided, first off, I trued it, and I spent about 5 minutes or less truing it. I took the biggest wobble out of the wheel. Now this was probably my first mistake. I probably shouldn't have done this, but I should have just sent them back and got my money back. I bought them from Amazon, so sending them back would have been relatively easy. But I decided to true them, and I got the biggest part of the wobble out of the wheel fairly easily. And then I rode it, and I could still hear, like, it was fine if I was just riding, but if I stood up, it'd go like, eek, eek. And it was leaving little marks on the rim, like you could wipe them off with your finger. But after a few rides, I noticed it actually kind of left a little deeper sort of actual mark on the rim here. And it's not just gonna wipe off, it's actually like kind of scratched, And so I decided, hey, I'm gonna have to do more because I've only rode the bike with these rims like 3 times now, 3 fairly short winter rides. So I got in with some sandpaper. And I took sandpaper and I removed the clear coat. There was like a sticker even. There was like the sticker, this little stupid sticker here wraps around. So I removed that sticker, and then I sanded off that sticker. I sanded off the clear coat. I sanded off the paint. And I probably even took off just a little tiny bit of carbon from the inside of those chainstays. And now the rim was pretty good. It still had a little wobble, so then I spent about 15 minutes just kind of really slowly fine-tuning, truing, trying to get it really straight. And it seems to be okay. I haven't actually tested it to see if it's gonna bump or not. So I think I might take it out for a tiny little short spin, stand up. It was really only doing it when I stood up and pedaled really hard. So we'll see what happens. Well, I think it's somewhat better, if not all the way better. I think pretty much almost any rim brake bike, when you're really swinging the bike back and forth and going as hard as you can, you're probably going to rub the brakes a little bit. I think I always have done that, so maybe that's normal. As far as the actual squeaking, I don't think it's rubbing the frame anymore. I'm pretty sure it's not. And I guess even when it did, like I said, an uphill KOM on a a short climb, but a very it was definitely full power. And I set a KOM on these wheels, so this isn't a review. They're brand new. I have really barely had time to ride them yet. This is just my early thoughts on the ride, on the wheels, and we'll hopefully do a better review once I've had more time on them. But first off, buying carbon rim brake wheels for these older bikes. Is it a good idea? Probably not, because I mean, carbon clinchers, I guess that's why we all had to do disc brakes, or that's why most bikes moved to disc brakes. Carbon clinchers just aren't that great of an idea. I'm not worried about it because I don't really ride in the mountains. I don't foresee myself melting the sidewalls. I don't use the brakes very hard. Braking is not great. Like, you can definitely tell a difference in dry. Now this is with the stock brake pads that came with the wheels, carbon brake pads that came with the wheels. You can definitely tell a difference in stopping with these pads in the dry, and in the wet it's just, it's always bad in the wet. You know, that's one of the things that you think, oh yeah, but it's always bad, but it's worse. Performance-wise, I don't know if they're really any better. Let's take a look at it. It looks awesome with the wheels. As far as being, more aerodynamic, I don't know. Who knows? But if you are going to buy, these wheels, don't just compare your brake track and your tire size, but also look at the inside of your chainstays. If they're like mine and they bulge in, probably not a good idea to get some that, wheels that are wider in the middle. It's weird having looking down and you can actually see the wheel stick out past your tire. And I feel like, like maybe there's a lot of chances that's going to damage the wheel. So we'll just find out.